parades, and you really just have a great time over there. So we just want to say thank you for choosing Oakdale for 10 years. That's a really big deal for all of us to celebrate and celebrate you. And we just want to present you with a certificate to say congratulations on your 10-year anniversary.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Congratulations. If anybody has any pictures of the original hospital, can you please get them to me? We have been looking for them for a long time. Pictures on the inside. Anyway, thank you, ladies, for being here, and thank you for your 10 years of business in Oakdale. All right, reporting out of closed session, we gave direction to staff. Next item is public comment. Anyone wishing to provide public comment, please come up to the mic, and you will have 3 minutes, and state your name. Good evening.
I'm Susan Byers, and I'm volunteer with the Oakdale Museum and History Center. Oh, you know, I'm just not tall enough.
Same here.
Right. I'm a volunteer with the Oakdale Museum and History Center on West F Street. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any photos of the interior of the old hospital, where probably I was born, probably a lot of other people in this room were born. We do have a few from the outside of the hospital, but not from the inside.
Well, if you happen to find them, let me know, please.
Okay, I
Thank
will.
you.
I'm here tonight to invite you all and the whole community to a special exhibit that we are having at the museum. We're inviting you to come on Monday after the ceremonies at Fish Park. It's a special veterans exhibit. I think you all got the flyer. And this is, we're focusing on World War I and World War II this year, but we're inviting people to bring stories and pictures of the veterans and their families so we can start doing a better job of documenting the heroes that we have in Oakdale and providing a more complete story of Oakdale's history. So if you can't make it on Monday, you can view the exhibit through November during our regular hours, which are Thursdays and Fridays from 1 to 4. And also, while I'm here, I'd like to give a shout out to Jeff Gravel, he's here, he is, and his team. They helped us with doing some copying of some large-scale maps, which we really appreciate. And since I'm here also, I'll give another shout out to Jeff. As a Garden Club member, I want to thank him and Mike Olson for doing such a great job with our parks and for helping us every time we call or text or use the app to complain about a water issue somewhere. So we really appreciate all the help. So, and does anybody have any questions about the exhibit or the museum?
No, but we'll make sure and share this at the Veterans Day parade and ceremony so that
Okay.
people know to go right over there afterwards.
Great.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so thank you for having this.
Thanks. Oh, is it 212? 212 West F Street. Yeah, it's not the Cowboy Museum, it's the History Museum.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, anyone else for public comment? All right. Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Okay, I'm going to raise this up. I am well. I am your humble library assistant here to fill you in on things going on at the Oakdale Library. Vaughn is still out, so it's going to be me again for you. I'm gonna give you things that are going on at the Oakdale. Oh, my name is Brent Lowe. I introduced myself, sorry. And just to let you know what is going on in November. The 5th and the 19th, so tomorrow and 2 weeks from now, we're having Lego Day from 3 to 4. This Saturday, we're actually going to have a booth at the Salmon Festival out in Knights Ferry. So come out and visit us. We'll have some freebies out there and some library stuff, and I think a game going on out there too. Next Tuesday, we're going to have our Master Gardeners program talking about composting at 6 o'clock. The 14th, we have an apron craft from 3 to 4. The 18th, we're having a turkey craft from 3 to 4. The 23rd, I'll come back to the 23rd. 28th, we're having a friends meeting from 1:30 to when it ends. If you're interested in being a friend of the library, they do a lot of good stuff and support us financially as well as the community financially, but the friends do a great job with us.
Did you say that was on the 28th?
It's on I believe the 28th. It's a Monday. Oh, am I saying the wrong date? Oh,
That's a closed Thursday.
oh shoot.
I think it's
That would
on the
be Thanksgiving.
25th,
The 25th.
but I
okay.
could be wrong.
Sorry, no, it's that last Monday of the first, okay, the 25th. And for November, every Wednesday, we have preschool story time at 10:30. Every Thursday, we have our Wiggle Worms, which is for our 0 to 3 crowd, kind of a preschool, kind of a story time for them. It's at 10:30. We will be closed next Monday, the 11th, for Veterans Day. And we will be closed, there we go, the 28th and the 29th for Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. Let you know that the voting drop box is still open tomorrow. From our open hours from 12 to 8. Come back to the 23rd. On the top of the handout I gave you guys. So the 23rd, it's a Saturday at 12 o'clock. We are having a poetry reading that's open to the public. It's all free of charge. It's our youth poet laureate for Stanislaus County. Her name is Zoe Byron. Thank you. I didn't keep a copy.
She was in here.
She's an Oakdale resident, high school student. So she's going to do some reading. If you have a poem that you want to read in front of people,
She was our poet that came, and her dad was my English teacher senior year. Not that you care, but now you know.
Okay. Nice. But yeah, so it's gonna be going on. We'll have a reading, and it'll be a good time. Hopefully, we'll have a good crowd on Saturday for her. As always, I want to thank you, Colleen. I want to thank all the residents of Stanislaus County for voting in the 8-cent sales tax that supports the majority of the library, as well as the Friends of the Library, Lions Club, and the Rotary Club. I also want to thank Jane and Alana back here for inviting us to the Halloween Bash at the Community Center this last week. I had a booth up. I was able to give away lots of books, as well as other county library doodads, and a lot of candy. It was a lot of fun, and we really appreciate you guys. Other than that, any questions?
So
Any
this poetry reading, because I know Councilmember Smith's been working on a lot of limericks,
All right,
so he's,
as long
I'll
as
be
they're
right there to
appropriate
watch.
for a library crowd, he's more than welcome.
Christopher
be there
writes
to-
haikus.
Haikus, excellent,
I'll be
all
there to
right.
support you.
I'm learning a lot about you guys. All right, well,
All
thank
right,
you guys.
thank you very much.
Thanks for everything you
giving
do.
us a scoop. All right, anyone else for public comment? Come on up. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Bianca Signorelli, Oakdale, California. And I'm actually here concerns that my First Amendment rights were desecrated on Facebook by Christopher Smith. He is administrator of All Things Oakdale, and the things he posted, sometimes he posts anonymously, you can almost tell it's his writing, and other things he has posted, and he has now pretty much put me in an anonymous post, and so he is streaming like that. You are a public official, and note that the Supreme Court just passed in May, so you can refer back to your legal advice, but public officials who post about topics relating to their work on their personal social media accounts are acting on behalf of the government and therefore can be held liable for violating the First Amendment rights when they block their critics. And just because I have something to say that you don't like, you are blocking me. And that was in regard when you falsely posted on Measure G saying that it was not an additional tax and put your comments related to that without the people to be able to come back and have a rebuttal and post that. I mean, you and only Kaylee have I ever heard think that whatever is posted on Facebook is what majority of Oakdale thinks or does. And they can't even think from one post to the other on there. So, and when it was posted about a candidate that's going for voting on this position, it was posted and it said it was against him and that person. And then the court records, this is on your account as administrator, so you're responsible for the postings on there, okay? And that court record was on ConAgra versus that person, or that person versus ConAgra. And then all the paperwork that's posted is just, anybody can do that. I could go get a restraining order on you right now and you on me, and it wouldn't be anything until we went to court. No fees paid, no nothing. That is what we have a judicial system for, and that all needs to come back in the court. You cannot just rule over one thing that's putting out to people in Oakdale when there's only a couple to go to for people that want to put out things like the library or selling or animals and that type of thing. You have done wrong. You've done a disgrace as a public servant here on this, and you should resign. There's other people that post on here. She posts quite a bit. You can tell she's middle-line, she's positive for Oakdale, okay? We don't always even endorse the same people, but thoroughly have respect for her. What you have done is a disgrace, okay? That's it.
I'm just gonna say, number one, I've never blocked you. And number two, I'm not the person who turns off commenting on all things Oakdale. That's it. You might think I am, you might imagine that I am, but I don't do that.
And I know that you know who they are, and you are all in cahoots and leaning on to that. So I know exactly how that runs. I've run it before.
Okay.
So you are responsible, and as a public official, it's disgraceful. You
I've
violated my
said my point.
All right, anyone else for public comment? Okay, public comment is now closed. City Council consent agenda. City Manager Whitemeyer?
Great, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Staff would like to pull item 9.5. We'd like to gather some additional information on that, and that could come forward at a future meeting. Other than that, we're asking council to consider items 9.1 through 9.4 on the consent agenda. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for pulling that, and motion to approve 9.1 through 9.4.
I will second that motion.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Emerald,
Yes.
and Mayor Barrios.
Yes, this item passes 5-0. Thank you, Colleen. All right, staff reports 11.1. Good evening, Patrick. Who do you have here with you tonight?
I have my dad, Joe
Uh-huh.
Andre.
Hi, Dad.
He's with me this evening, visiting from San Jose. Well, good evening again, Mayor, members of the City Council, City staff, and City of Oakdale family. It is indeed an honor and pleasure to be with you again this evening. And the following item that I have for your consideration this evening is to consider a resolution that would reorganize the recreation services and the facility maintenance services structure within the Finance Department to best support the city needs. The city is in need of reorganizing its recreation services and facility maintenance services structure in order to best support city needs. Currently, the Recreation Services Supervisor, Jane Finkenbein, serves as the overall supervisor for both recreation and facility maintenance services. Sadly, Ms. Finkenbein is retiring from the city of Oakdale, and even though it's not quite goodbye yet, we are definitely going to miss her. And since she's with us, can you just stand, Jane, and be recognized for everything that you've done for the city, please? I know everybody here in this room knows her and all that she does for the city of Oakdale, and probably everybody who's watching this evening does as well. She's definitely going to be sadly missed, and we're going to try to cherish as much of this time that we have left with her. Ms. Finkenbein retirement does provide an opportunity for us to reorganize and split the recreation services and the facility maintenance services positions in order to best support the city needs. Both recreation services and the facility maintenance services both fall under the finance umbrella. Currently, recreation consists of one recreation services supervisor, which is Jane Finkenbein, one recreation services specialist, Alana Bryant, who's also here with us this evening, and both of them are located at the Gladys Lemons Senior Center. Facilities currently consists of one facility maintenance worker 2, one maintenance worker 1, one full-time custodian, and one part-time custodian. The Recreation Division includes operations at the Gladys Lemon Senior Center, and this includes a variety of programs that they provide, such as free classes, iPad classes, yoga, arts, crafts, young at heart exercise, and social events such as the Silver Strummers that I know a lot of us here know. And they also coordinate recreation programs such as the Halloween Parade and Festival that we just had here a few days ago. They also coordinate lessons such as tennis, pickleball, dog training, and the swimming pool, swimming lessons, water aerobics, and open swim. Under the Facilities Maintenance Division, they include maintenance of pretty much all of our city spaces that we own, to include the Gene Bianchi Community Center, the Senior Center, our City Hall and Police Department buildings, the council chambers here, our swimming pool, all maintenance of the swimming pool, the Oakdale Animal Shelter, and also the youth building, which is off of Gilbert Road there by the high school. They also do janitorial services for our public yard, our public services yard, TL Davis, Skate Park, Dorada Park, and the soon opening Grager Sports Park, and the planned replacement of the Gilbert Park, Kerr Park, and future Fish Park bathrooms.
Oh my.
We are very fortunate in the sense that we have an
Oh my.
outstanding and highly capable recreation services specialist, Alana Bryant, and facility maintenance worker 2, Tim Williams. With the upcoming retirement of Ms. Finkenbein, and with facilities taking a larger portion of the two divisions, city staff believes that this would be a good time to reorganize the supervisor position by freezing the recreation services supervisor position and creating the facility maintenance supervisor position. This position would be the same exact salary range, which is range 433. Facility maintenance worker 2, Tim Williams, would become the facility maintenance supervisor. The city council would need to approve and authorize this new position so that the salary range schedule can be amended strictly to add the facility maintenance services supervisor position. The recreation services supervisor position would still remain on the books, but it would be frozen and unfilled until such a time that city staff determine the need, at which time the position would be brought back to the city council for approval. No position is being added. City is just moving the supervisor position from the recreation side to the facility side. Staff is also looking to elevate the current recreation services specialist, Alana Bryant, to an already existing position of recreation services coordinator. This is an existing City of Oakdale position that is presently not being filled, and this would be in step with additional duties that she would be performing as the sole recreation person. She would continue to work out of the Gladys Lemon Senior Center, coordinating all aspects of the senior services, as well as managing the lifeguards and pool staff, which is approximately 25 employees during the pool season at the Royce Memorial Swimming Pool. She would also continue coordinating the same community-wide recreation services that the city provides, such as the annual holiday parade, Halloween parade, and other family events, such as city-hosted free family nights at the Gene Bianchi Community Center. City staff believes that for efficiency and overall coordination purposes, it would be best to move the supervisor position from recreation to facilities. The job description for the new Facility Maintenance Services Supervisor is included with the staff report. This move would result in an overall cost savings. Currently, the monthly salary cost for the Recreation Services Supervisor, the Facility Maintenance Worker 2, and the Recreation Services Specialist is around $18,000. Under the new structure, the Facility Maintenance Worker 2, assuming the new title of Facility Maintenance Services Supervisor, and moving the Recreation Services Specialist to Coordinator would be a monthly salary cost of a little over $12,000, a monthly savings of $5,600. But most importantly, it would bring the best alignment of staff and supervision for the facilities and recreation divisions in the finance department. After careful review of city's needs and in order to ensure the continued operations of the recreation services and facility maintenance services, city staff is recommending that the city council approve a resolution that would reorganize recreation services and facility maintenance services within the finance department to best support city needs. That concludes my presentation, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have pertaining to this.
So your pictures and all the images and all that stuff, amazing, classic.
Great
What a
presentation.
great tribute to Jane right here. Just to confirm, so these are just title changes, this isn't any salary bump, is that correct?
Correct. The only salary difference would be moving the Recreation Services Specialist to the Recreation Services Coordinator. But for the two supervisor positions, it would just be moving it from the recreation to the facility side, and the range would remain the same.
Okay, and what is that difference again?
The answer is yes, there is a salary increase on one.
On one, and what is that?
For the, to recognize the additional duties that the Recreation Services Specialist would be performing as a sole person at the Gladys Lemon Senior Center, we would be moving the Recreation Services Specialist to a Recreation Services Coordinator, which is a few bumps up on the salary schedule. It's an existing position that we have had in the past, and so that would be the only change. It would still be an overall cost savings with the new structure, but it would result in one bump up for an employee. But for the two supervisors, they would stay the same exact range. It would just move it from recreation to facilities.
How long do you anticipate it'll be until you fill that other position? You said you're saving money because you're not going to fill that one position at this time. How long do you anticipate that will be until you're?
I don't know that we would be
Do you have
looking
any
to fill
idea?
that
Because-
position anytime soon.
Because once you fill that job, you're no longer saving money. You've created another job.
Correct.
So we're not creating another job, even when we
Well,
add that.
You're splitting.
Yeah,
her.
so I think it's important if we go back to what it is, oh shoot, is that in here, in the report?
Well, I read the agenda. It said you were putting that one job, or you were dividing her job and
Right.
making two.
So
Two positions out of it.
At some point, we will need to add that back.
Yep.
Right?
Okay, so it'll be you're
Yeah, so-
creating another job.
So, right now, these are the numbers. Like, in page 36 of the staff report, it says, Finance Director, Recreation Services Supervisor, Recreation Services Specialist, and Facility Maintenance Worker. 4 positions. What we're saying now, with the loss of Jane, that we will have 2 positions, and so that drops us down from 4 to 3. And then we're saying we're holding that 4th position, so we're 4 now. The future alignment will be 4, but right now we're 3.
Okay, so
So-
you will be adding another job though here in the future. I mean, there'll be 4.
So
You're putting
council
this
member, we will hold off as long as possible, but as we build homes, as we have more seniors that move in, that we will have to provide those
Well,
services.
I understand what you're saying. My point is though, once you fill that position, the savings no longer exists because, I mean, you are,
Yes, right, I mean, and
So-
that goes to a lot of things, is once our costs increase, the savings are gone,
okay.
right? If price of gas goes up, then our
That's my
costs
only
go up.
point, yeah, I mean, you're
Right,
saying.
no, I agree,
but
but the critical thing is 4 and 4, right? I mean, we're not adding more positions, we're actually reducing positions for a period of time, which I think is a prudent budgetary practice.
Is the
It-
$56.56 per month go into the general, or does it go into a additional fund
Back to the
for
payroll?
anticipation in the future?
Yeah, it was paid for out of the general fund, so it will stay in the general fund. But, I mean, we're just trying to be completely transparent. I appreciate Councilmember Amaro's question, because the reality is, too, once it's filled, then those cost savings go away. The added services and the added staff time will be there to benefit the seniors and other recreation
But as
services.
of now, the savings goes into the general fund.
Yes.
When that position is filled, though, it'll come out of the general fund.
Correct.
Well, that's better than the water fund.
So
Yeah.
So,
I do
So-
have a question. Sorry, Christopher. So originally we added Alana's job almost probably 4 years ago. It was before I was on the council because Jane had too much to overhead. So I do agree that Alana should get the pay raise because she's going to be doing a lot of work. But if we added this job 4 years ago so that it wouldn't cause Jane stress from the workload, why are we turning it into one position again?
So, great question. Part of the duties that Jane has are going to the facility maintenance services supervisor. So she will not have the same workload that Jane had.
All right.
that was my same question. My question is, those two young ladies over there do the work of 4 or 5 people currently, and with Jane leaving, that workload doesn't reduce. And so, if this had been presented as, we're saving $5,600 for now, because that's what we're doing. We're saving $5,600 for now. But we will hopefully, because, I mean, I do a lot, but I don't think I could take on the workload. And Tim is a fantastic worker here, so he's going to take some of that workload aside. But I don't want Ms. Bryant over here to be overwhelmed with her new level of responsibilities. And we say, well, you know, the city council made you take it. You know, we restructured your job, so now you've got all these responsibilities and you're drowning in them. But city council said yes.
Yeah, so I would caution us in that we will do this as long as we feel it's feasible,
Okay.
but at some point, we will be back at the
But you
council.
have no idea at all as far as when how long?
yes.
I mean, if you fill this position right away, the savings doesn't amount to that
Yeah,
much.
I think we will allow ourselves some time,
Okay.
right? I mean, I'd say 3 or 4 months at least, and then we would come back. But I think it's something that.
Well, that's not that long, but anyhow.
Well, it's $20,000.
Right, but that's what we would be considering.
I
Right.
think for now, staff feels confident that the structure that we're presenting will be a feasible structure. One other thing that does kind of take up a chunk of Alana's time right now is the pool season. Even though it's not all year, when you think about the recruitments and then the training of the pool staff, the certification process and everything, it's about a 3 to 4 month long process. Alana took a pretty big chunk of time doing it this last pool season. One of the things that we're looking to do for the next upcoming pool season to alleviate some of that part of it is to employ a pool manager more. A pool manager is a part-time seasonal position, just like the pool staff, but the pool manager is more of a seasoned person that's usually been a head guard in the past, and they kind of assume most of the responsibility of managing the lifeguards, the pool staff, doing the scheduling, the training and everything.
Would that be maintenance too, or just?
No, that's under the it's under the recreation department, and it's a seasonal position. They usually start 1 month before the rest of the pool staff starts, so that they can get caught up on things. But it is a part-time seasonal position, and it's one that we already have on the books. We haven't used it as much this last year, but moving forward, at least with this structure, we'll be looking to utilize that. So the cost won't be a big cost difference there, but that alone will ease a lot of the burden on Alana for those things. And I think in the future, if and when we do get to that point where we feel that there is more need, of course, that would be coming back to the city council as well. But we would definitely like to at least try doing this structure. All of the staff that does the job, up to the department head, feels that this structure is feasible, and that, you know, we'd like to definitely give it a try and see how it goes.
Yeah, and one thing I would like to add is, we consolidated things a while ago related to the downturn in the economy. And so with, the prudent, budget decisions that the council's made over the years, we've been able to build up our reserves. We've been able to invest in a lot of capital infrastructure. We've been able to build parks. We've been able to improve roadways. And we've been able to do a lot of different things. And as the demand for services have gone up and the facilities have increased, the individual who is responsible for facility maintenance has taken on a lot. So in some ways, I would suggest that ultimately when we add that position back, and I guess one alternative is I would suggest that we, if the council would consider this, is give the city staff the ability to fill that position at a future date. And the main reason for that is when we get closer to the pool season, so here we are in September, November. And so we have November, December, January, February, and then we start recruiting, in February, March for that. I think it would probably be wise for us to fill that other position as we start that new fiscal year, like May, June, as we transition. And so we recognize that at the end of the day, we won't realize the savings, but we're also accounting for the additional facilities that we have. We've purchased buildings, we've done other things, and the facility maintenance supervisor will be managing, hey, what are the upgrades we have to do to those buildings? How do we get it? So if we could kind of modify our recommendation, I would say that we will keep it vacant so that we can realize December, January, February, March, so at least 4 months. So that puts us closer to $30,000 in savings, and then we fill that position so that we don't fall behind. Because I agree, related to Alana's position, it's a lot. They do a great job at the senior center. We want to keep that going.
I am less concerned, honestly, than about the dollars and cents, and more concerned about the heap of responsibilities that we're splitting this into. But as long as we can keep an eye on that, and we are open to checking this out,
Right.
making sure it's okay.
Yes, and so if I could modify the recommendation to be that the city staff is recommending that we create the facility maintenance supervisor position, we elevate the recreation services specialist position to a coordinator position, and then we retain the recreation services specialist position, but we leave it vacant for a period of about 4 months. And then the city will plan to recruit for that position to make sure that the services that are needed at the senior center and at the pool are adequately covered.
I would just hate for Alana to quit because she realizes it's a lot of work and she gets overwhelmed with it, because she's such a great employee, and if we lose her, we'll spend way more money trying to hire someone to replace her, and I don't think she's replaceable.
I agree.
She doesn't occur to me as a
Can you
quitter.
just
So.
make it official right now, come to the podium and say you're not going to leave the city of Oakdale anytime in the future?
Do we have any questions from the public for our city manager? Yes, Bianca, come on up.
I think you just created the best friend ever.
And I love you too, Alana. But we're basically taking away half of the work of the facility maintenance off of the table that when the two of them did, they did, and now another whole person's taking that over. So I don't see, I think, she'll have to say if she ends up taking on more responsibilities, but currently there's 2 people already doing these 2 jobs, and you're splitting them, basically.
There's three people. So there's 3 people, and then we'll replace them with 3 people. So it's 3.
But he was actually a worker, he wasn't a supervisor.
Granted, and so we're adding additional duties, additional facilities, and so that's the justification, and also supervision. So the individuals that Jane was supervising under the facility side will now be managed by the facility services supervisor. And then the work of the recreation services coordinator, they're taking some of the the recreation services supervisor duties, and they will be supervising not just the pool, but this other individual in the other elements. The supervision is not necessarily over personnel per se, it's over the activities, which require a lot of, it requires an individual that has tact, diplomacy,
Coordination
empathy, to deal with all the things they have to deal with at the senior center.
You're
So-
splitting up the workloads, basically.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so when the Gregor Sports Park gets completed, are they gonna have, activities that'll have to be coordinated under the recreation side also? Thereby increasing the workload?
Absolutely,
Okay, so that needs to be said.
right.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All right. Would a council member like to make a motion on this?
Yeah,
Motion
with
to
the-
approve 11, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's all right, with the revision that Mr. Whitemeyer
The
said.
revision?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Motion to approve 11.1.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Amaral?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Gilbert?
Yes.
And Mayor Barrios?
Yes, this passes 5-0, and thank you and congratulations on your retirement, or whatever you want to call it, and congratulations for you too as well. All right, thank you, Patrick. Item 11.2. Ian, how you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
It looks like Ian only has 20 seconds to present.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Do I have 20 seconds to present the next two items? Because I have the next one as well.
Yes.
So, we're here for item 11.2, accepting the improvements for DE and 6th resurfacing. A little background on this one. This isn't just a resurfacing project. This also includes some updates to the curb returns along D Street. I believe there were 8 of them. And also updating the striping to current standards. And this goes from North 6th Avenue from F Street to A Street, East D Street from Sierra to Johnson, and East E Street from just after 5th Avenue to Johnson. The contract was awarded on June 17th to American Pavement Systems. The contract amount was $394,000, and we had construction contingencies both at $19,700. During the course of this project, no change orders were made. The total cost ended up being $394,000, which is $19,700 under the total construction budget. And all improvements were accepted by the city engineer, reviewed and accepted on October 9th. And just some before and after photos. The original photos were taken. This is a federal project, so it does use partial federal funding. So there are certain, requirements to the photos before and after. This one, as you can see, was taken on E Street. I tried to get the same location. It's a little bit different, but they are on the same street, facing the same direction, mostly in the same spot. Different time of day, morning versus afternoon. This one's on D Street over by the tennis courts at Gilbert Park. And this one's on D Street from Sierra, facing east. And then here's some photos during construction. Looks like this was actually, the second one on the right was on D Street. I'm not sure exactly where that first photo was taken. It's, yeah, I was trying to remember. The angle's a little bit weird to me. I can't.
I think so. That's what it looks like to me as well.
And this actually is a drone footage from Oakdale PD. Officer DeMoss took this drone footage. I don't know if I have any way to play it. I don't know if anyone can
Is that
access the
a
play button
video?
from the.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, I think they start out just kind of floating there. No, there you go.
There we go.
That's cool.
It's very steady footage. It's kind of uncanny how steady this footage is. But
The striping looks great,
Yeah.
and the bike lanes are,
you get an
Nice,
aerial
too.
view. It looks like it's a mostly overcast day, so you get very little shadows. And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a world of difference between
yep.
big
And I
crosswalks.
believe this is 6th Avenue right here.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
It's a really tall ladder. It's been a long time coming for that part,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it made a huge difference especially on E Street.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of that striping in the center wasn't there before, so it's just
And the stop words and the stop lines.
the stop bars, the crosswalks
Yep.
are all newer. So
Now, that area hasn't been striped yet, right?
there's an area they stopped. They didn't go all the way down.
That area, this area is not a part of the project.
Yeah.
Okay,
That was slurry sealed a couple years ago.
Yeah.
okay.
This wasn't. I think that's the end of the video.
Yep.
Yep.
And I would like to add, I want to thank the police department. When we do these type of projects and they do the drone footage, it's an opportunity for them to get the drone team together and they use it as a training exercise.
That's
So
great.
thank you to them for taking the time to do that.
And just one more slide, just fiscal impact. The total approved construction funding was $413,700. Total cost was $394,000. It was split between two funding sources: the Surface Transportation Fund 316, which is the federal funding part of it, and then Measure L Fund 222.
Do we
Yeah.
know what that split was?
Yeah,
60/40,
the majority of the
20/80?
funds came from the Transportation Fund 316, the federal
Yeah.
funds. Our team, Ian and Jeff and others, work with Stancog to acquire these funds. And once again, it's looking for opportunities to go grab funds that aren't going to be given to us. We have to go and claim them and
Yep.
fill out the paperwork and put together a quality project, which they did.
All right. Any other questions for Ian in council? Comments?
Jeff, are you looking that up? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Yeah, 285,000 was
Yeah.
federal funds.
So about 2/3.
That's pretty nice.
Okay, any questions from the public for Ian? All right.
Nice job. Motion to approve 11.2 if that's where we're at?
Second?
First and a second, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Amaral,
Yes.
and Mayor Baracus.
Yes, this passes 5-0. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Colleen. All right, Ian, hi,
I'm
good
still up here
evening.
for 11.3.
Item 11.3.
This one better have a drone video.
It does.
Okay.
It's not as good. There's a lot more trees in Birchall Hill, so. So background on this, there's two areas to this project. The main area is Birchall Hill, and the other area, actually on the next slide, is the areas west of Birchall Hill, and an additional area that was added later on, Johnson Court. Scope of the project was to re-slurry and restripe to current standards. There are some shared bike lane symbols that were added along Birchall Hill Drive and Cindy, I believe. And then up to A Street, the intersection at A Street. There was one that was added over there. The contract amount for this one was $649,250 with a construction and a construction engineering contingency of 5%, $32,462.50 each. The contract was awarded February 5th, 2024. This project had 2 change orders. First change order was to remove unnecessary items. We had, due to the way that the project was bid, there was multiple bid alternates. 2 of those, the way it was bid, weren't required because of the 3rd bid alt. The second change order was to add Johnson Court for a little under $15,000. Overall, the total cost was $624,578.02, just under $90,000 under budget. These were also reviewed and accepted by the city engineer on October 9th. This picture right here, this is Melva from Skyview, the intersection over there. Maybe a little bit hard to see on the screen, but this was the worst area out of all of them. This received 2 coats. One was a type 3 slurry seal or a chip seal, as well as the slurry seal over the top. And this is the drone footage. It only goes down Birchall Hill Drive and Cindy Drive, I believe. This one's not as good. There's more tree cover and the shadows because of the time of day makes it a little bit difficult.
That was not a complete stop right there.
You can see where people water. You can see the stop bars over there. They used to be the buttons, the multiple little reflective buttons that were there. Now they're the just double yellow reflective lines. And it is the time of the season where the leaves start falling to the ground, so you may see some of that. Oh, it's not Cindy, it just goes down Birchall Hill up to Valley View Park. Or Jacob. Mixing up names. Yes.
Good.
And just the last slide, the fiscal impact of it, the total approved project budget was $714,175. Total cost after all change orders was $624,578 and 2 cents, which was just around $90,000 under budget. And all of this was the SB1 Road Maintenance Fund 216. And just another note, I added this to the other one. These do improve the life of the road, and they're a significant cost savings compared to a full reconstruction.
And Tom, I didn't recuse myself when when this project was bid, because even though I live in the area, it's not for me specifically, right? Even though I live in the Birchall Hill area.
That was the public generally exception applied.
Okay. Okay, so that still applies here, correct? Okay, thank you. All right, any questions for Ian from council? Comments, concerns?
This is doing the slurry steel is very cost effective. We're about to do a $6 million road work in the south end of town. And I just want to thank the team at the city who is always going above and beyond. They go out and crack seal when it's 90 to 100 degrees to extend the lifetime of our roads. So thank you for doing this.
I'd also like to just comment that American Pavement Systems did both projects really well and under budget or on budget.
Yes.
Because we've all seen projects like this go over budget. Little change order here, little change order here, adds a couple $100,000.
We had a very reasonable price for adding Johnson Court.
Yeah.
It was,
And the net result was we still saved
Yeah.
$90,000.
All right, any questions from the public for Ian? All right.
Motion to approve 11-2,
3.
3?
Second.
We have first and a second. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Emerald,
Yes.
and Mayor Barrios.
Yes, this passes 5-0. Thank you, Colleen. All right, 11.4. Good evening. How are you?
Good. I'm Tim Williams. I'm a maintenance worker 2 for the city. Hello, Mayor and City Council members. I'm presenting with 11.4. The resolution authorizing staff to purchase a 2024 F-250 from Halen Ford for $70,847.76 using funds from Vehicle Replacement Fund 540. Facility maintenance staff consists of a maintenance worker 2 staff person, a maintenance worker 1 staff person, and 2 custodians. This team is responsible for cleaning and maintaining the Gene Bianchi Community Center, the Gladys Lemon Senior Center, the City Hall offices, the Police Department building, Animal Control offices, Public Works offices and break rooms, TL Davis Sports Complex, Dorada restrooms, Community Skate Park restrooms, and the airport offices. The staff shares 3 vehicles. The facility maintenance consists of a team of 4 who clean and maintain all city buildings and 3 park restroom facilities. The staff shares the use of 3 vehicles. In September 2024, one of the 3 trucks were determined by the fleet manager to be inoperable and not able to be repaired. Staff received 2 bids as followed. From Halen Ford, from Oakdale, the F-250 Super Cab, $70,847.76, and from Steve Chevrolet from Oakdale, $72,231.12. Here's a picture of the F-250, and it's also including the lift gate on there. There is no physical impact to the general fund as a purchase is budgeted in Vehicle Replacement Fund 540. Staff recommends that the City Council approve Resolution 11.4, authorizing staff to purchase a 2024 Ford F-250 from Halen Ford for $70,847.76 from Vehicle Replacement Fund 540.
So Tim, this vehicle would now go to you, and then the other 3 employees would have their own vehicles?
Yes, so right now we're replacing, or we're borrowing the graffiti truck as a replacement for now. And then mine will go to one of the custodians. And then we're still gonna have 2, Armando is at night, and then,
Arvin?
yeah, Arvid will take my truck. I'll take the new one because I do most of the driving and most of the repairs. And then Toby and Armando will share one because Toby's during the daytime, Armando will be at night.
Okay,
So
thank
we
you.
have 4 people.
We have 4 people,
We had 3 trucks.
3 trucks, and 1
broke.
went down. Yep.
So now we're back up to 3 trucks.
Yes, this will bring us back up to 3, and 2 of them will still share. Because we have 1 at night and then 1 in the day.
Okay, my only other question was, what did Steve Chevrolet offer? Because they can't offer a F-250. What did they offer?
They offered 2,500 extended
Chevy
cab.
Silverado,
Sure,
probably.
yeah,
F-250 is Ford.
Similar
Yeah.
features?
What was that?
Similar features?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, similar features. This was just the lower of the two, but they were basically the same. It was a 2500 with the lift gate. This is just the cheaper one.
I'm just curious, this is diesel or gas operated?
Gas.
Gas, okay.
Yeah.
What's the current total amount in that vehicle replacement fund 540?
See if we can get a little help from Albert here.
They'll have all the information. Teamwork, teamwork.
Yeah.
And
So,
go ahead.
oh, in Fund 540, let's see. Which one was that? Okay, it's actually 530, which is the vehicle replacement. We have budgeted total for the year, 100,000 in expenditures, so after that expenditures, we would end the year with 289,000 left over.
So we're healthy. How do we replace the funds in that? After we spend it for a vehicle, where do those come from?
Yeah, the general fund typically. So what we've tried to do, and that's why we go through the budget process that we do, where we close out the year. We talked about this at, was it the last meeting or a couple meetings ago, where when we close out the year, if we have funds available that weren't spent, we put those into the replacement accounts, whether it be for vehicles or for facilities or for parks. And so we've been doing that for about 10 years, which has enabled us to replace parks, replace vehicles. And the reason why we do that is when we buy a new police car, we know that it needs to be replaced. So pretty much everything we buy is a consumable. It may take 7 to 8 years. The truck that we're going to buy now, we know in 7 to 8 years, we're gonna have to replace it. But we also try to stretch it out as long as we can. Tim, can you tell us about the truck, the age of the truck we're replacing?
25 years.
Yeah.
It was in
Yeah.
1999.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're saying money left over goes in replacement fund or general fund?
So when you adopt the budget, we show that, hey, these funds are being transferred from the general fund into
Into the sub.
the fire equipment replacement fund, or into the facility maintenance fund, or into the vehicle equipment replacement fund. So, I mean, that's the.
So you just decide which fund you want to put it in, or, I mean,
No, the city council decides.
we decide, okay.
Right, I mean, so we make our recommendation, and so the city council decided at the last meeting where those funds were going to go, and that's how we've done it this whole time.
Well, we've made a good decision because it's a healthy account.
Thank you for the
All right.
presentation.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Tim. Any questions from the public for Tim or city staff? All right, any other questions, comments, concerns?
Motion to approve 11.4.
Second.
We have a first and a second roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Gilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Emerald?
Yes.
And Mayor Barrios?
Yes, this passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, good evening. Item 11.5. And good job, Tim.
Mayor, members of the city council, we're pursuing another grant. This is consideration to approve a resolution indicating the importance of updating and improving safety conditions and bike and pedestrian facilities on G Street between 4th Avenue and East Avenue. And they're also giving direction to pursue and apply for this grant. So the area that we're looking at is the area between 4th Avenue, on G Street, 4th Avenue, and about where the storage facility is on G Street. There are, and I'll get into this more, but there are some sidewalk areas or areas that currently don't have sidewalks that we want to consider in this grant. Here are two pictures of existing conditions on G Street. The one on the left is looking east, and the one on the right is looking west. This is about in the area of 4th Avenue. And what the grant, and we don't have an exact scope of work just now. The long story short is that there was a meeting that we had with StanCog there was an opportunity to pursue this grant. The other cities that were involved in this meeting didn't seem very optimistic in terms of wanting to pursue it because it was short notice. We learned about this grant about 3 weeks ago, and we decided to go forward and pursue it. So we began to put together a scope of work and at the same time apply and put the application together. And some of the elements of this grant will include sidewalk, handicap reconstruction, street reconstruction, slurry and cap seals on the street where the streets are in a condition that'll accept a slurry or cap seal. And then, of course, to do the striping per current standards or improved standards. This will also, it's an area of G Street that has currently not been improved. It's the last remaining section between Mag and Wood that has not been either slurry sealed and striped. So we're requesting, and I believe this is the maximum amount that we can apply for, is the $800,000 for the grant.
You said between Mag and Wood?
Well, the section of G Street between Mag and Wood is an area that we've been targeting, and the last remaining gap is the area that we're talking about
Because
tonight.
if it's between Mag and Wood, you're looking at a,
No. He's talking about, that's already been done.
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's been done, okay.
Yeah, that's everything except this gap in this.
I see. And this gap is between where and where?
Behind Taco Bell, westbound.
Yeah,
Taco Bell westbound, okay.
yes. About to 4th Avenue, right in that area. So the reason for the request for city council action is this is a competitive bid. In this particular bid, it gave us, I guess you could say, clues on what would grade or what could grade higher for the grant application. And one of the items is a city
Council
council
approval.
resolution recognizing this is an area that we want to make these improvements. So here we are. There's no fiscal impact at this time. The plan is once we get we're continuing to put together the scope of work and the plan. And once we get acknowledgement of being issued the grant, then we'll go out to bid, and then we'll come back to council for consideration of the project to award a contract. So we're recommending to approve a resolution indicating the importance in updating and improving the safety conditions of bike and pedestrian facilities on G Street between 4th and East Avenue, and request staff to make an application for and I didn't say it earlier, but it's the local carbon reduction program grant, which is what we're pursuing.
Which is what, county level funds?
It's
State?
state
State level
state
funds.
through StanCog.
Okay.
If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Gravel?
So we were talking earlier about how great it is that you guys go out and find these grants out of the blue, pluck them out of the trees and bring money into the town that we don't already get. And this is one of those. But this one, if we add a line to our resume that says, hey, the city council says this one's important, it's a bonus on our application.
Yes.
Which is why we're here.
Yes. And it was, in the grant application instructions, it was only a request to consider doing this. It wasn't mandated. It's not a requirement of the grant. The timing was right and we jumped on it.
And there's no down to this. All we got to do is say, yeah, it's important. And
That's it.
It's a bonus check off box.
We
on this.
attached the resolution to the signed resolution to the grant application, and we're off and running.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, that section of street there, doesn't that need a complete redo too, as far as paving and
Some of it,
all that?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, it's a mess.
This is not going to pay for that, though.
it won't pay for that, yeah.
It will. Some of it will.
It will?
Complete
Yes.
redo?
Yeah.
Oh,
That sounds
take it back.
pretty good then.
Well, thank you guys for your efforts on that,
Yeah.
too, going out and finding this.
We do public comment.
All right, anyone from the public have a question for Mr. Gravel? All right,
This is an easy one.
Motion to approve.
Second.
we have a first and a second, roll call, please.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Gilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Emerald?
Yes,
And Mayor Barrios?
Yep, this passes 5-0, thank you,
Jeff,
Colleen.
for jumping on that.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. All right, city manager, anything you'd like to add this evening?
Mayor and council, I have nothing to add.
All right, City Council, anything to add?
I have one thing. October of '23, we had a agenda concerning Camtech where we approved a one-year trial on the CAMTC.
I'm having a hard time, I'm sorry, Fred, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. October of last year, we had a city council agenda meeting where we approved, I think it was a universal approval, the CAMTC, the Camtech massage regulation.
It's already been a year?
It's been a year.
Wow.
It has. I'd like to request and see if we can get that.
Yeah, we were supposed to review that, weren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so Fred's asking for the review.
right.
Next meeting, maybe?
When we review this topic, can we post it on Facebook and extend it to the massage therapist? Because this is a big topic for them, and they came to support every meeting last time, and I know they'd like to be here when we review it.
I would absolutely just suggest you share it on your page, and I know I share it on my page. I try to do that for every council meeting.
We should probably reach out to,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
will reach out to them. I think that's a reasonable approach, and we want to get their
Yeah.
comments, feelings, feedback.
Our local business.
you think by the next meeting would be enough time?
Next meeting? Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Perfect.
All right, anyone
Thank
else
you.
have an item?
Thank you, Fred. I would like to reiterate what Brent Lowe said earlier. The Halloween bash was fantastic. 1,000 kids all gathered in the middle of the town after a parade, all wearing costumes. It was just great. I'd like to give a shout out to Jane and Alana sitting right there. Also to Lisa Kildgard with Love Oakdale. They did all the planning and prepping and games inside. You know, you walk around that night and you look around this small town, and that's a big deal. I mean, it's a huge deal, and all those kids grow up. My son's 20-something, and he remembers walking in those parades. This is something that sticks with all the children in town, so I want a heartfelt thank you for that.
We're also one of the few cities in our county that puts together a Halloween event for our youth. Thank you, ladies. It's always a great time, and I've been going since I was little, so it's fun to give back to the community on Halloween with you.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, so there's an art show this Saturday and Sunday on Poplar at the church, 1480 Poplar, I believe, both Saturday and Sunday. Veterans Day, Pacific Project Heroes will start out a breakfast for veterans and their families and the general public. That'll be at the HBRB, the same one that they have every year, Veterans Breakfast. Then you come on over to Lee Avenue and join us in the parade. If you don't have a float and you would like to join us, anyone is welcome to join us on the float. We will ride from FES Hall to Fish Park, where we'll have a ceremony and then lunch. And then after that, the Cowboy Museum is going to be open, so you can tour the Cowboy Museum and talk to them there. And then the Oakdale History Museum will have something from 1 to 4. So I love seeing a lot of things happening on Veterans Day. Please join us. And remember, vote tomorrow. Don't care who you vote for, but vote. Your voice matters. Next meeting, Monday, November 18th, 7 p.m., right here in the council chambers. Have a great 2 weeks.